Welcome to Physics 2112. This is the second semester of Physics with Calculus. I am Paul Smith, the instructor for this course section. This is an online course, so I'm really more like a coach than an instructor since you are mostly self-taught. My contact information is in one of the announcements below, and it is also on the syllabus page under instructor information and expectations. And I'll show you how to get there when we do a tour of the course a bit later. Do not hesitate for 1 second to contact me. It is very important that you get your questions, your issues, or your concerns resolved promptly. I am, as you can see, kind of an old fart and more or less retired. So I'm very flexible. I'm pretty much available all day long, every day of the week, anytime from about 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Mountain Time anyhow. So make sure that you get a hold of me. Some students will even use text messaging or my phone number. The preferable way is to use the messaging system in the course. Since this is the second semester, I'm sure that you are aware that the Physics with Calculus curriculum is very intense. Doesn't matter whether you took the first semester at a CCC campus or university campus or online, you've already experienced the enormity of the course. It is a 5-credit-hour course with 20 chapters out of Resnick and Halliday, and labs due every week. In the summer, we cram that 15-week course into 10 weeks. And we don't leave any material out. The course time estimate is 225 hours. So you can see that it is slightly more than a half-time job. It is hectic and intense. And it requires focus and dedication like you have never before experienced. That is actually one of the great things that you can learn by taking this summer course, above and beyond learning physics. You can really learn how to be a focused student for the rest of your life. I feel a little like the Marine boot camp sergeant who says to the recruits, "I own you." So enough warning about what you're getting into. I've been doing this for 6 years and have done the Physics with Calc classes every summer. My summer session classes have always outperformed my 15-week classes on quizzes, final exam, and final grades. Immersion really works. You will truly learn physics and construct a solid foundation for your future studies and life experience. Last summer, my section started with 33 students. 29 finished successfully. You can do this and wake up on August 7th with a smile of accomplishment and satisfaction. The first thing to do is to order your lab kit. There is no charge for this. Its cost was included in tuition. There is an announcement about that right here. A pop-up window should have appeared when you opened the course. Enter the physical address where you will receive the lab kit. And you cannot use a post office box because the lab kits are shipped by UPS. UPS can deliver almost anywhere. I had a student in Kazakhstan receive his, and another in the Amazon region in Brazil receive hers. Stop the video and do this now, and then return to the video. Next, let's set up the internal messaging system so that you can communicate with me. Select the envelope icon that you see right here, and the system will open. Select internal messaging. And you should see that there's a welcome message from me. Then select the settings icon that you see right here. And make sure that the internal message options include original message and replies is checked. If it isn't, check it. Then go here and enter your name. This will be your signature on your messages to me. Finally, click Save. And the internal messaging is set up and operating. So stop the video and do this now. The course uses an EText version of Halliday and Resnick. The EText supporting reference materials and associated course assignments such as problems, quizzes, and final exam are products of Wiley Plus. You will need to establish a Wiley Plus account. To do this, select the Contents tab. And that will expose a table of contents for the course. We'll explore that in a while. Select EText in the list. And you see that a page comes up that has Vital Source Course Start, that's a link, and Fundamentals of Physics 11th, that leads us to the EText. Begin by selecting the Vital Source Course link. And an instructions file will open in a separate tab. Leave it open. You may want to use it as a reference as you proceed, but let's go back to the Vital Source here. And then you have to go back one page to the EText. At that point, if you select Fundamentals of Physics, 11th edition, a pop-up window should appear, and it will not appear on my screen that I'm showing you. It only appears when this is the first time that you have logged into the course. And that's why I can't show it to you. So then you will fill in the text fields in the pop-up window, and that will complete your registration. Use your CCCS email address when your email is requested. And if you don't seem to understand what's asked of you, that's when you go over to the Vital Source Course Start and go down here and kind of follow through the instructions chart. So stop the video and do this. You have completed the administrative actions needed to get the course materials and to message me. Now let's explore the course organization and also the D2L functionality. Along the tour, we will pause a couple times so that you can try out some of the activities and earn your first points. D2L opens with the home page, as you see here. And there's where you will find announcements. There will be many of them in week number 1, and typically a few every week. I use the announcements to clarify lab instructions, post clarifications when the textbook is not clear or is incomplete, post notices if there are system issues, and all sorts of things that you all need to know. So pay attention to the announcements each time you log in. There will be way too many to fit on the home page. Announcements are never deleted. They accumulate throughout the entire semester. And you can go find them at any time that you want. To do so, you go to the bottom and you will see a link that says Show All Announcements. And if you click that, then they will appear. And there will be a very long list of them, and you can go through them. And even at the end of the course, you will be able to find the ones that were posted in the first week. The course content, which is the reading and the assignments, is found under the Content tab that you see right here. Click that, and a table of contents for the course will appear, as you can see here. It begins with Start Here. We'll skip that one because by the time we're done with this video, we will have done everything in the Start Here. And then there's one that says Syllabus. We'll come back to this one. There's quite a bit of very useful information in the syllabus. We've already been to the EText. That's where we were when we set up your Wiley Plus accounts. And then you'll see that it says Module 1, Electrostatics, Module 2, Electricity, Magnetism, and Circuits, Module 3, More Magnetism and Classical Waves, Module 4, Electromagnetic Waves, Light, and Optics. The course is organized into 4 modules. Each of them has approximately 5 chapters, and each lasts a few weeks apiece. If you now select one of these, let's say Module 1, like we were starting the course, a menu will expand under it. And it will include Read View, discussions, assignments, and quizzes. If we select Read View, we see then that we have Chapter 21, Coulomb's Law, Chapter 22, Electric Fields, and so forth. If you select this, the eText for Chapter 21 will open, and then you can proceed to read and to work along with it, as you can see here. When it finally gets there. And here is Chapter 21. And you can read it, take notes, whatever it is that you're going to do in order to study. But this is the way that you will find the textbook as we proceed through the course. If you look under assignments, you will find Wiley Plus Course Start. This is only because of this is the first module of the course. You'll find a thing that says Practice for No Credit. You'll find Wiley Plus Adaptive Practice, and you'll find the labs. And we'll come back to what each of these are later on. And then under quizzes, you can see there's Chapter 21 quiz, Chapter 22 quiz, and this is where you'll go to find them when the time comes to take the quizzes. So this is where all of the work is. Every week, there will be 1 or 2 subject discussions. These are not optional, and they are graded. Combined, they add up to a substantial fraction of your final grade. In the discussions, you will initiate a thread, write responses in threads initiated by other students, and react to responses posted in your thread. There are rules for the structure and content of posts, and I describe them in the announcement, How to Do Discussions. You will find that this is a highly collaborative course where the class really comes together to assist one another. It is one of the most enjoyable parts of the course, and you will very much learn to work with each other. You find the discussions under the tab Discussions.
And when you click on that, all of the discussions for the course appear, although they're not all active and available to you to work in until their scheduled dates arrive. At the top, there are just completely voluntary and useful discussions, such as help, I don't understand the content, where if you're struggling with a concept, you might post that here to see what other students think. And this is kind of a place where we work to help each other when we're struggling with learning the material, for example, or if there's a technical issue, the same sort of thing. Then down below, the first discussion is student introductions. And we'll talk about that again in just a minute. And then chapter 21, electric charge. So we will have a discussion about the content of chapter 21. And chapter 22, electric fields. And this goes on throughout all the chapters that we will be studying. So the first discussion starts now. It's the student introductions. It is worth 12 points toward your final grade, and it is required. You must do this, and the chapter 21 discussion will not open until you have made a post in the student introductions. You are to create a thread where you introduce yourself, where you live, where you go to school, what your interests in studying are, maybe if you're working, what work do you do, your family, your dogs, what sorts of things you enjoy doing. The idea is to get to know each other. So for example, we can, mine is posted here that you can use to look at. So here's mine. And come on, open up. Now you don't have to make them terribly long, a paragraph with 100 words or even less is fine. But I've put in a lot just to help you get to understand me better. And I've included a picture. You don't need to do that, but you might, okay? This is pretty free form. And then over the first few days, read everyone's and post some responses to share. You're going to find that some of you actually know each other, but don't realize it, or that you're in the same program at the same university and never met each other, or that you live in the same town. So you'll be surprised what you find in this introduction and what you all have in common. So stop the video and do this now.
Now that you've completed your introductory post, let's return to Module 1 and take a look at the assignments like we promised earlier. So we go to Module 1, we look at assignments, and let's start with this first one, Wiley plus course start. And you'll see that there's an assignment 0. Let's go there. And this page comes up that says we have to open in another tab. So we do that. And since I'm an instructor, I need to put this into the student view. So it looks like what you'll see. So this is what you'll see. And this is an assignment that you do now, and it's worth 11 points. And let's start the assignment. So this is an exercise in how to use the equation editor. So let's say we want to pick this box. I'll pick the box above. sure why it jumped like that. Come on. There we go. And you'll see that down at the bottom here is a bunch of things that allow you to type equations. And in this case, it's 22/7. So we can pick this one. And then we can type 22 in the top. And we can type 7 in the bottom. And then let's go on to the next one. How to put in 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay, and you can just go 6.02 and says you can type a star if you want the multiplication. So I'll type a star. 1, 0, and then I can put in a caret, 23rd. So that's using the keyboard. I could have done it down below here by going by picking this one right here and putting the 1, 0 in there and 23rd up there. Okay, so there's more than one way that you can do it. Now let's try this one. And we're going to want to make it look like this. And we type pi up there. You just type pi, see? And you put a 3 in here. So you fill these all out, and then you say, let's go here. Come on, bottom one, select. And let's say we'll do this one as square root of 2 over 2 like they show it. So this will be the square root there. 2 over 2. And then we say submit answer. Okay. Then you go to question number 2. So this whole thing is an exercise in how to type equations using this equation editor. And so you have to go through all 7 of them, and then you've completed the assignment. So stop the video and do this now. Next, let's take a look at the adaptive practice, which you find right here. There is an adaptive practice assignment for each chapter. Each is worth 11 points. The adaptive practice poses questions and problems for you to answer. It is a bit complicated to use until you get used to it. So there is a separate how-to video in an announcement below. The adaptive practice is something that you can go in and out of all week long. And you should start it on Monday or Tuesday because it is a source for problems that can be used in the discussion posts. Adaptive practice is proven to be a very useful and very good learning tool. You will find that you spend a couple hours a week doing it. In the past, prior to the adaptive practice, we included a reading quiz and a homework assignment. But during this year, we've learned that the adaptive practice pretty much replicates that. And we found that students were exceeding the time commitment for the course. And so we now offer those to you under a practice for no credit. you can go and you can take these reading quizzes as you're reading material to help yourself as a study aid. And you can take the homework problems and solve them and submit them as well. They will be scored, and that's why there's due dates here. And the scores will show up in your grade book. However, when you look at the grade book, you'll see that they're in the section of the grade book that is not included in your score for the course. So these are really here to give you some extra practice if you think that you need it. And for the most part, I do recommend them if you have the time. The remaining assignments are labs and quizzes. Each lab is unique, and so there will be an announcement each week regarding that lab. And the quizzes are all similar, and we'll have an announcement about how to go about preparing for those and some of the requirements regarding submission of the quiz results. So that pretty much concludes our tour of the course. What you should do next is go to the reading and start reading chapter 21. And you should start the adaptive practice, which means that you should watch the video posted below about how to make the adaptive practice work. And once you've started the adaptive practice, then you should start on the discussion for chapter 21 as well.